Anjana Lakshmi, and I'm working as a head and senior scientist of Sahasra Crop Science Research and Development Center. From morning onwards, we are listening to everything like what is biochar and how we are going to get the biochar. So I'm sitting this time. So why I'm saying that the biochar is a smart fertilizer solution in the future? Because so we already know that biochar is having a different like unique pore size. So it is having the capability to hold any microorganism or even water molecules also. So that is why we can select it as a smart fertilizer. And what is the sustainable solution means? It should improve the soil health and it should help the management of organic waste and everything. And this is the smart fertilizer because it controls the aim and timing and duration of the nutrient release into the soil. So why we need to change the farming practices? Based on the 2020 this survey, so almost 40 to 70% of nitrogen, 80 to 90% of phosphorus, and 50 to 70% of potassium is leached over the rate of into the wastewater. So this is the major pollution cause. So we need a other solution for the farming practice. So here we are suggesting that slow releasing fertilizers. Slow releasing fertilizers are purposefully designed and aim to increase global attention also. These slow releasing fertilizers are mainly delay the nutrient availability to the plant uptake after application. So biochar has the high affinity towards nutrients, including nitrogen, phosphorus in water and soil molecules. So biochar application enhances the slow release and effect of nutrients, providing an attractive strategy for reducing the economic and environmental burden and excessive conventional fertilizer utilization. Biochar-based biofertilizers have received more and more global attention for the sustainable agriculture, and this is a very recent advanced developed technology. But the biochar obtained from direct thermochemical treatment or of different feedstock is deficient of nutrients which are required for the plant. So we cannot use biochar as it is a biofertilizer. And it is imperative to modify biochar to improve fertilizer efficiency. The excellent properties of biochar provides a sound platform for synthesizing biochar-based slow-releasing fertilizers. So these are the various methods generally using for the biochar-based slow-releasing fertilizers. In the in situ pyrolysis means where the biochar is the biomass is available, so they have to convert it to the biochar and they can use it as a carrier. Then impregnation means different, all biomasses are not having same compositional analysis. Each biomass is having different compositional analysis. Based on the soil composition, like nutrients availability and biomasses, we have to select and we have to go for the mixture of pyrolysis. Then we can get the type of biochar. It is having different nutrient composition and copyrolysis. These are the same type, but here we will mix different like nitrogen rich or phosphorus rich or potassium rich compositions and we'll go for the pyrolysis. And encapsulation, it is another method. After getting the biochar, we have to coat with these biochar molecules with the chemical or organic or inorganic or microorganisms. Then we can use it as a fluorescent fertilizer and granulation. We can convert this biochar into the granulation and then we can go for the fortification of either your microorganism or with the organic or inorganic nutrients. And these are the some of the applications when we are using as a biochar as an amendment. So we already know. Next. Next. So biofertilizers, now I am going to give a brief introduction. These biofertilizers are aimed at promoting microorganisms, mainly nitrogen fixing, phosphorus fixing, and potassium fixing. These are the major microorganisms. Like some of them are Astrobacter, Cyanobacteria, Rhizobacteria, and recently many microbial products in the market like Bacillus libriformis, Bacillus bacillus, and Phenibacilla. These are the main microorganisms we are using in the NPK fertilizers. So the application of biochar and rhizobium inoculation, this is one of the study has done in 2015 and as well as in the 2020 on the ground. And what they identified is 10 tons of biochar per hectare would be applied to the groundnut plant to improve the growth and performance of the rhizome. This is the recent publication has done. So how this biochar and microorganisms can interact? There are different types of interactions are there. So what is the major factors which uh, leads the microorganisms to interact with the biochar? The majorly the aromaticity. Aromaticity means when we are going for the biochar preparation, the chemical structure will changes. Like the cycling molecules, the cycle will change. So based on this, like terpenes or whatever functional present in the biochar, so all microorganisms are suitable to attach in this type of condition. So the surface chemistry of a biochar can be altered through physicochemical modification process to target the absorption of specific microorganisms during the immobilization process and decontamination during the remediation process using microbial immobilization biochar products. So slow releasing fertilizers in this microbial immobilization to the biochar is one of the latest developed technology. So they have developed using microorganisms and they applied for the bioremediation process also. Yes. And there are the different methods we are using to fortify or add the microorganisms to the biochar. So one of the method is surface absorption. So when we are having this biochar is having the pores, when we are force the microorganisms, it will embedded into the pores. And another method is next. These are the different immobilization process with the microorganisms. One is covalent bond. The microorganism always, most of the microorganisms are having cell wall and it is having extracellular productions. These are having a slightly negative charge. Microorganisms are cell wall is having slightly negative charge. So these can covalently form a bonding with the biochar. These can be used as a immobilization form in that ion gate formation. So these microorganisms entraps into the biochar molecules. So surface absorption and pore filling means these microorganisms, the biochar is having the pores. So these microorganisms can enter into this one. So when the biochar is fortified with the nutrients, the carbon present in the biochar and the nutrients can be touched by the microorganisms. So there is a chance for co-localization of the microorganisms in the biochar. So the other method is electrostatic interaction. There's a lots of research is going on very recently, and these are some of the publications I have read. So these are the research is level increased, like evaluation of publication papers and total citation on the like biochar from 2020 to 2020, it increased very drastically. So it means there's a lots of research is going on biochar and biofertilizer interaction application. Next, this is one of the systematic literature search result of biochar as a microbial carrier. In conclusion, I can say that the increased research interest in using biochar as an alternate microbial carrier to replace commercially available non-renewable microbial carrier substances. But the selection of feedstock, understanding of interaction between biochar, microorganism, plant, and the environmental are very crucial and consideration for the biochar-based smart methods.
Thank you so much.